Look, man, it comes a time in life, man, when you have to definitely put things, to a side and put your differences aside and forget all the BS that had taken place. And this is what's taking place, man. One of my favorite teams of all time uh, was the Fab Five, and this was a college team, in which I know a lot of people probably would disagree. They would have gave some NBA teams a run for the money. Now, I'm not saying they would beat every NBA team, but that's how well that they had played. If you know about the Fab Five, um, Chris Webber is going to be a part of the Enshrinement Basketball Hall of Fame for the class of 2021. Um, this is long overdue. Long overdue. I know me. And shout out to Nolo Boy Sports um, and News. If you haven't subbed to my brother James, definitely go sub to his page. Uh, Always bringing in good content and just a good brother overall. Um, he and I feel the same way about Chris Webber. You know, he came in one of the key players that was able to revolutionize the power forward position with the style that they weren't accustomed to seeing. And that was when he was with the Warriors, and of course he played with the Bullets, and then he played with Sacramento, and he fell short in 2002, um, but nevertheless he was still was a key piece throughout his prime. Uh, you know, besides all that though, what people most remember Weber for was him being a part of the Fab Five. Now, he was him and Jawan Howard were the most successful out of the bunch, and they had longer careers. But Chris Webber, pretty much, he had the edge on everybody in terms of talent, and Jalen Rose too. Can't forget about Jalen Rose, but um, in terms of talent, and the best player was by far Webber. And now these guys are finally getting back together. Um, the Fab Five, you say what you want, they are one of the most important basketball teams in the history of the game. And if you go to the African American Museum, they're in there. They're in there as the Fab Five. We talking about C. Webb, Jalen Rose, Ray Jackson, Jimmy King, and Juwan Howard. You know, they pushed the envelope because of their baggy shorts, rocking the black socks and the black shoes, and playing a style that was more custom to the urban style of play on the streets that you see. Um, and they introduced parts of the game that were taken taken for granted today. Uh, Now, uh, that's just a little bit for some of y'all that don't know, but you could go on and find out a lot about the Fab Five. It's everywhere. But see, what I want to talk about the most though is that, C Webb, he spent more than a decade away from the university and away from the Fab Five. Uh, and this is going to be a big thing for him. All five of them are reuniting to see him be inducted into the Hall of Fame. And it wasn't about Webber, it was about the University of Michigan because they cut themselves off from Webber in '03 because of that court case, because of the illegal benefits and the whole uh, the booster situation with Ed Martin and 38 G's and stuff like that, and Weber admitting to it and stuff, and he was forced to remain away from the university until 2013. And a lot of people don't know this, but many may do, is that him and Jalen, they fell out. They fell out, and they weren't talking for quite some time. He still continued to keep his distance from Michigan and from everybody else, including Jalen Rose, which that was his ace right there. But nevertheless, over the past few years, Weber and Michigan have started to kind of build their relationship. But it's like with anything, man, it takes a little bit of work. It's not an overnight thing because if you live during that time, you know that those guys they were pretty much brothers and they've been through a lot. And it was a combination of, the school, the media, the NBA, marketing, um, people that wanted them to fail, people that wanted them to succeed, um, the coaches, the parents, you name it. It was a lot of people that were gunning for them, and that wanted to see the Fab Five's demise. And then there was a lot of people that were in support of the Fab Five, and of course that was the hip hop culture, and that was pretty much the African American culture who took a passion for sports and particularly the urban community. But not trying to get off philosophical, I think that this is a great thing for these guys to come in support of C Webb, to see their brother be able to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. You know, I think it's wonderful, and it it could have been a thing where these guys possibly couldn't have never mended their relationship and never ever talked again. That's how deep it was. Everything from the timeout call to the money situation to the falling out, you name it. They could have just not talked to each other again, but they're putting all that aside and they're going in there and showing their brother that they still got his back. So, yeah, let me know what you think. Uh, like this video, please share it, and be sure to hit the notifications too. And it's Polo Sports Talking Entertainment. I'm gonna get at y'all.